Picture this. You wake up in the morning, put on the kettle, maybe stretch a little, and head to the kitchen for your favorite breakfast. For many seniors around the world, that breakfast starts with one simple, familiar ingredient: eggs. Eggs are timeless. They're quick, affordable, versatile, and packed with nutrition. Whether it's a sunny-side-up egg, a soft-boiled one, or a fluffy omelet, they've been part of our plates for decades. But here's the surprising truth. While eggs can be a superfood, they can also become a hidden health risk when handled the wrong way, especially for older adults. Why? Because as we age, our bodies change. Our digestion slows down. Our immune system isn't quite as sharp as it used to be. We become more sensitive to cholesterol, more vulnerable to bacteria, and less able to bounce back from foodborne illness. That means that a food we once ate without a second thought now requires a little more care. In today's video, we're going to take a deep dive into the world of eggs and senior health. We'll uncover the biggest mistakes seniors make with eggs, why these mistakes matter, and what you can do to enjoy eggs safely and deliciously without risking your health. So, if you're over 60 or if you have elderly parents or loved ones, stick around. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to get the most out of every egg you eat and how to avoid the hidden dangers. And let me just say this, don't worry, we're not here to scare you away from eggs. In fact, I'll show you why eggs can be one of the best foods for seniors, if eaten the right way. So grab a cup of tea, settle in, and let's crack this topic wide open. The power of eggs for seniors. Why they're so popular. Before we dive into the mistakes, let's pause for a moment and talk about why eggs are such a big deal, especially for older adults. Think about it. Eggs are inexpensive. They're available in nearly every grocery store around the world. You don't need fancy equipment to cook them. And unlike some other protein sources, like steak, chicken, or fish, eggs cook in minutes. That alone makes them one of the easiest and most accessible foods for seniors. But the real reason eggs deserve attention is because of what's inside them. Each egg is like a tiny nutrition package, sealed in a shell. One large egg contains about 6 grams of high-quality protein. And I say high quality for a reason. The protein in eggs contains all 9 essential amino acids, which your body needs for muscle repair, energy, and maintaining strong tissues. Now, if you're a senior watching this, here's why that matters. As we age, we naturally lose muscle mass, a condition called sarcopenia. This can lead to weakness, falls, and a lower quality of life. But studies show that seniors who eat enough protein, especially high-quality protein like the kind in eggs, can slow down muscle loss and stay stronger for longer. Then there's vitamin D. Eggs, especially eggs from pasture-raised chickens, can be a natural source of vitamin D. That's important because vitamin D helps with calcium absorption, which supports bone health. Seniors are at higher risk of osteoporosis and fractures, so a little extra vitamin D can go a long way. And let's not forget lutein and zeaxanthin, 2 antioxidants found in egg yolks that protect your eyes. If you're dealing with age-related macular degeneration or cataracts, these nutrients help shield your eyes from damage and maintain clearer vision. So, in short, eggs aren't just breakfast. They're a brain food, a muscle food, a bone food, and an eye food, all rolled into one. No wonder they're so popular. But here's the catch. All those amazing benefits can be lost, or even turn harmful, if eggs are eaten the wrong way. That's why we're here today. Because the truth is, many seniors are making small mistakes with eggs that cancel out the benefits, or worse, introduce risks. So in the next sections, I'll walk you through the top mistakes seniors make when it comes to eggs. And I'll show you the simple fixes to keep your meals both safe and healthy. Let's start with mistake number 1. Overcooking your eggs. Mistake number 1. Overcooking eggs. All right, mistake number 1. And this is a big one. Overcooking eggs. Now I get it. Many of us grew up hearing that food had to be cooked thoroughly to be safe. Some people even developed a habit of boiling eggs until the yolk turned gray or frying them until the edges were crispy brown. It feels safer that way, right? But here's the problem. When you overcook eggs, you're not just changing the texture. You're also damaging the nutrients inside. Let's break it down. When an egg cooks, the proteins inside it go through a process called denaturation. That's a fancy word for saying the proteins unfold and then bind together, which is what turns the egg from liquid to solid. But if you push this process too far, by boiling, frying, or baking the egg for too long, you end up with tough, rubbery proteins that are harder for your digestive system to break down. And for seniors, digestion is already slower than it used to be. Our stomachs produce less acid as we age, and the muscles in our digestive tract move food along more slowly. So when you eat a tough, rubbery egg, it can cause bloating, gas, or just that heavy feeling in your stomach. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, okay, so what's the solution? I don't want to risk undercooking, but I don't want rubbery eggs either. The good news is it's all about balance. Here are a few tips. 4 hard-boiled eggs. Place them in cold water. Bring to a gentle boil. Then simmer for about 9 to 12 minutes depending on size. After that, immediately transfer them to ice water to stop the cooking process. This gives you a fully cooked yolk without the rubbery texture. For scrambled eggs, keep the heat low. Stir them slowly and gently, and remove them from the pan while they're still slightly soft, because they'll keep cooking from residual heat. For fried eggs, cook on medium-low heat. A runny yolk is perfectly safe as long as the white is fully set. But if you prefer firmer yolks, just cook them a little longer without cranking up the heat. And if you enjoy poached eggs, simmer water gently. Don't boil aggressively, and cook for about 3 or 4 minutes until the white is set and the yolk is still creamy. Cooking eggs gently not only keeps them tasty, but also makes them easier on your digestive system and preserves more of their nutritional power. Let me share a quick story. One of my elderly neighbors, Mr. Harris, used to complain about feeling bloated every morning after breakfast. He thought it was the bread or maybe the coffee. But after a little chat, we realized he was boiling his eggs for 20 minutes every single day until they were practically bulletproof. Once he switched to softer boiling, about 10 minutes, his bloating disappeared, and he said the eggs even tasted better. The takeaway here is simple. Don't be afraid of a little softness in your eggs. Overcooking might feel safe, but it's robbing you of nutrients and making digestion harder. Seniors need to make every bite count, so gentle cooking is the way to go. Mistake number 2, eating raw or undercooked eggs. Now, let's move on to mistake number 2, eating raw or undercooked eggs. This one is especially important for seniors because it's not just about nutrition. It's about safety. You've probably seen raw eggs being cracked into smoothies on social media. Or maybe you remember athletes back in the day drinking raw eggs straight from a glass, thinking it was a shortcut to strength. And sure, some people might say, I've eaten raw eggs before and I never got sick. But here's the truth. As we age, our bodies become more vulnerable and the risks of raw eggs get much higher. The main concern here is something called salmonella. Salmonella is a type of bacteria that can sometimes be present inside or on the shell of raw eggs. For younger people with strong immune systems, salmonella might just mean a few days of stomach upset, diarrhea, vomiting, fever. But for seniors, the story can be very different. Now, here's the tricky part. You can't see or smell salmonella. A raw egg might look perfectly fresh, but you can't tell if it's contaminated. That's why relying on luck isn't a safe option. So what counts as raw or undercooked? Eggs cracked into smoothies or shakes. Soft scrambled eggs that are still runny. Sunny side up or over easy eggs where the yolk is raw or only partly set. Homemade mayonnaise. Caesar salad dressing, or hollandaise sauce made with raw yolks. Desserts like tiramisu or mousse that use uncooked eggs. All of these can carry risk. But does that mean you have to say goodbye to all your favorite egg dishes? Not at all. It just means we need to make a few adjustments. Here are some safe options. Cook until both the white and yolk are firm. For scrambled eggs, that means no runny streaks. For boiled eggs, that means fully set yolks if you want maximum safety. Use pasteurized eggs if you want to make recipes that call for raw eggs. Pasteurized eggs have been gently heated to kill bacteria without cooking the egg. They can be found in many supermarkets and are labeled clearly. These are much safer for seniors. Try safe alternatives for recipes. For example, if you love Caesar salad, look for recipes that use yogurt or pasteurized egg yolks. If you want creamy scrambled eggs, cook them low and slow until safe but still soft, not runny. Here's an example. My aunt, who's 72, used to love sunny-side-up eggs with the yolk still liquid. But after she had a nasty case of food poisoning in her 60s, her doctor warned her to avoid raw yolks. She was devastated until she discovered over medium eggs. These are cooked just a little longer than sunny side up. So the yolk is set but still moist, and she says she barely notices a difference. The bottom line here is simple. As a senior, your safety comes first. While raw or undercooked eggs might not have made you sick years ago, your body is different now. One small choice, making sure your eggs are cooked, could protect you from a very big problem. So remember, no raw smoothies, no runny yolks, no gambling with salmonella. Your health is worth so much more than that. Mistake number 3, poor storage and handling of eggs. Okay, let's crack into mistake number 3, poor storage and handling of eggs. Now, you might think, it's just an egg. How complicated can it be? But here's the truth. The way you store and handle eggs can make the difference between a safe, nutritious meal and a dangerous one. And for seniors who are more vulnerable to foodborne illnesses, this mistake is especially important to avoid. Let's start with the basics. Eggs are perishable. That means bacteria can grow quickly if they're not kept at the right temperature. One of the most common mistakes I see is people leaving eggs out on the counter for hours after grocery shopping, or worse, storing them at room temperature all the time. Now, depending on where you live, you might hear different advice. In some countries, eggs are sold unrefrigerated, and people keep them on the counter without issue. But here's the key difference. In the United States and many other countries, eggs are washed before being sold. This process removes a natural protective coating called a bloom that keeps bacteria out. Once that coating is gone, the egg becomes more vulnerable, and refrigeration is necessary to keep it safe. For seniors, the safest rule is simple. Always store eggs in the refrigerator at or below 40 degrees Fahrenheit, about 4 degrees Celsius. That slows down bacterial growth dramatically. But temperature isn't the only issue. Another mistake is storing eggs in the wrong place in the fridge. Many people put them in the door because it has a special egg tray. But think about it. The door is the warmest part of the fridge because it's constantly being opened and closed. For seniors who need extra protection, it's best to store eggs in their original carton on a middle shelf, where the temperature is most stable. Let's talk about cracked eggs. You might notice a crack in the shell and think, oh, it's just a small crack. It should be fine. But that's like leaving the front door of your house open to intruders. Bacteria can slip in through that tiny opening and multiply quickly. For seniors, eating cracked eggs is a gamble not worth taking. If you find a cracked egg in a carton, throw it away. Now, let's talk about cross-contamination. Handling raw eggs can spread bacteria to other foods, surfaces, or utensils. I've seen people crack an egg, then immediately chop vegetables on the same cutting board without washing it. That's a recipe for trouble. For seniors who may have weaker immune systems, even a small amount of contamination can cause illness. So here are some safety tips. Wash your hands with soap and warm water after handling raw eggs. Use separate utensils and cutting boards for eggs and other foods. Wipe down counters and surfaces with disinfectant if raw egg drips. Don't eat raw cookie dough or cake batter, even if it's just a little taste. And here's a quick story. My neighbor, Mrs. Lopez, is in her 70s and loves to bake with her grandchildren. She once told me she always let the kids lick the spoon after mixing cookie dough, just like her grandmother did with her. But after a bout of food poisoning, she realized that those little raw egg traces in the dough were risky. Now she uses pasteurized eggs for baking projects, so the kids can enjoy licking the spoon safely. At the end of the day, proper storage and handling might seem like small details, but for seniors, they're critical. Think of it this way. You wouldn't leave milk out on the counter for hours and then drink it. Eggs deserve the same respect. So remember, keep eggs cold. Store them in the carton on a fridge shelf, not the door. Toss cracked eggs, check the dates, and avoid cross-contamination. These simple habits can prevent a lot of unnecessary health problems. Mistake number 4, eating too many yolks. Now, let's move on to mistake number 4, eating too many yolks. This one is tricky because the egg yolk is both the hero and the villain of a story. On one hand, the yolk is where most of the nutrition is, vitamins A, D, E, and K, as well as antioxidants like lutein and zeaxanthin. It's also where you'll find choline for brain health and a good dose of healthy fats. Without the yolk, an egg isn't nearly as powerful. But here's the catch. The yolk is also where all the cholesterol is. One large egg yolk contains around 185 milligrams of cholesterol. For years, health experts warn people to stay away from eggs altogether because of cholesterol concerns. And while science has since softened that stance, showing that moderate egg intake is safe for most people, seniors still need to be cautious. So the next time you crack open your breakfast, think balance. One yolk, a couple of whites, and you've got the best of both worlds. Mistake number 5, lack of variety. Now, let's talk about mistake number 5, and this one surprises a lot of people. It's eating eggs the same way, every single day, without adding variety. Here's the thing. Eggs are amazing, but no single food can give you everything your body needs. Seniors, in particular, need a wide variety of nutrients to support their bones, heart, brain, and immune system. If you're eating only egg for breakfast day after day, you might be missing out on other important vitamins, minerals, and fibers that eggs just don't provide. Let's take fiber as an example. Eggs don't contain any fiber at all, and fiber is crucial for seniors. It helps regulate digestion, lowers cholesterol, and supports healthy blood sugar levels. If breakfast is just 2 boiled eggs on a plate, where's the fiber? Adding some whole grain toast, a side of berries, or even a little oatmeal can make the meal far more balanced. Now I get it. Routine is comforting. A lot of seniors tell me they love the simplicity of eating the same thing every morning. It's predictable, easy, and satisfying. But variety doesn't have to be complicated. You don't need to reinvent breakfast every day. Small changes can make a huge difference. Here are a few simple ideas. Scrambled eggs with spinach and mushrooms, a quick way to add fiber and antioxidants. Boiled eggs with avocado and whole grain toast, a balanced mix of protein, healthy fats, and fiber. Omelet with peppers, onions, and a sprinkle of cheese, colorful, filling, and nutrient-packed. Egg and veggie wrap with a whole wheat tortilla, portable and easy, perfect for variety. You see, it's not about giving up eggs. It's about enhancing them with other foods. Let me share a story. One of my viewers, a gentleman named Robert, wrote to me saying he'd been eating 2 fried eggs every morning for nearly 20 years. That was his habit, and he didn't see a reason to change it. But after watching one of my videos, He started experimenting. First, he added a handful of spinach to his eggs. Then he tried tomatoes and onions. Eventually, he was making colorful veggie omelets 3 times a week. The result? He told me he felt more energized, his digestion improved, and he even lost a little weight without giving up his beloved eggs. There's another benefit to variety. It keeps meals exciting. Food can easily become boring if it's the same thing day after day. And when meals are boring, people, especially seniors, sometimes eat less than they should, which can lead to malnutrition. By switching things up, you keep your appetite engaged and make meals something to look forward to. And don't forget, eggs don't have to be limited to breakfast. Try adding hard-boiled eggs to a salad at lunch, or making an egg and vegetable stir-fry for dinner. This way, eggs become part of a balanced diet instead of the only star of the show. The bottom line is this: eggs are wonderful, but they work best as part of a team. Pair them with fiber-rich foods, colorful vegetables, whole grains, and healthy fats. That way, you're not only enjoying the taste of eggs, you're nourishing your whole body with a wide range of nutrients. So, if your breakfast plate has looked exactly the same for the past 10 years, maybe tomorrow's the perfect day to shake things up a little. Trust me, your body and your taste buds will thank you. Closing motivation and call to action. All right, we've covered a lot today. 5 common egg mistakes that seniors often make, from overcooking eggs to eating too many yolks, from undercooked eggs to poor storage, and even the lack of variety in meals. But before we wrap up, let's pull everything together and leave you with some final tips, motivation, and encouragement. First, remember this: eggs are one of the most powerful, affordable, and versatile foods for seniors. They can help maintain muscle, support brain health, strengthen bones, and protect your eyes. But as we've seen, how you handle, cook, and pair eggs can make all the difference. Here are some quick recap tips to take away. Cook eggs gently. Avoid rubbery or overcooked eggs to preserve nutrients and make digestion easier. Soft-boiled, poached, or lightly scrambled eggs are great choices. Avoid raw or undercooked eggs. Salmonella is real, and older adults are more vulnerable. Fully cooked eggs or pasteurized eggs keep you safe without sacrificing taste. Store and handle eggs properly. Refrigerate eggs immediately. Discard cracked eggs, check expiration dates, and prevent cross-contamination. Moderate yolk consumption. 1 yolk per day is generally safe. Use egg whites for additional protein. Choose cooking methods that don't add unnecessary fats. Add variety to your meals. Pair eggs with vegetables, whole grains, and healthy fats to create balanced, nutrient-rich meals that keep your body energized and your appetite satisfied. Now, let's talk about why this matters. As we age, every bite counts. Our metabolism slows down. Our bodies don't absorb nutrients as efficiently, and our immune system isn't as strong as it once was. That means food isn't just about enjoyment. It's also about protection, energy, and vitality. The small mistakes we discuss today might seem harmless, but over time, they can affect digestion, heart health, eye health, and overall well-being. The good news is that these mistakes are easy to fix. By making small adjustments, like cooking eggs gently, adding veggies, or storing them correctly, you can maximize the health benefit of eggs without giving up your favorite meals. These small changes can have a big impact on your quality of life, energy levels, and long-term health. Here's a little motivation. Think of your eggs as allies, not just food. Each meal is an opportunity to nourish your body, support your brain, protect your heart, and strengthen your muscles by being mindful about the way you eat eggs. And remember, it's never too late to start. Whether you're 60, 70, 80, or beyond, making small changes today can improve how you feel tomorrow. Start with one adjustment. Maybe cook your eggs a little gentler or add a handful of spinach to your omelet. Then gradually build on these habits. Over time, Your meals will become healthier, tastier, and more enjoyable. Before we finish, here are a few bonus tips for seniors who love eggs. Try experimenting with different herbs and spices. A sprinkle of paprika, dill, or chives can make eggs exciting without adding sodium or fat. Consider meal prep. Hard-boil a few eggs at the start of the week for quick, healthy snacks or salad toppers. Pair eggs with heart-healthy fats. Avocado, olive oil, and nuts complement eggs beautifully while supporting cardiovascular health. Drink plenty of water and pair your eggs with fiber-rich foods to aid digestion. Finally, let's talk about you. Yes, you, the viewer watching this right now. You care about your health. You want to stay active, sharp, and independent. And by taking the time to watch this video. So here's my challenge for you. Tomorrow, when you sit down for breakfast, think about what you've learned today. Cook your eggs gently. Choose a balanced meal. Store them properly. And enjoy every bite. And if you found this video helpful, here's what you can do next. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone you care about. Maybe a parent, grandparent, or friend who loves eggs. Let's help everyone enjoy their favorite food safely and healthily. Thanks for watching, and here's to happy, healthy, egg-filled mornings ahead.